Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Webdev. So we have reached the end of this creating of this dynamic form. So now let's try to see here. So let's go to the dynamic form.component.html file, and here so this is all so not this question .html file. This is our thing, right? Or otherwise what we can do it is let's go to the app component. So this is our thing, and here I can create class is equal to form control, sorry, container. So it is somewhat not looking nice, right? And also here I can create h2 dynamic form. So I am giving some cosmetic changes. So now here if you try to see the output for this one, so hopefully we should able to get it. Let's try to see. Yeah, dynamic form, and this is all the LX email and also the favorite animal. Now let's try to create a button for this one. So for the button will means nothing but it should be in the dynamic form.component.html. So here I will be creating inside this form. So one button, okay, submit, and you can have class is equal to btn hyphen primary. Now here you can have ng submit is equal to on submit. So you can have it like this. So now on submit button, let's try to take it on submit button, and here in our code, so here you can have on submit. So this is our code on submit, on submit. So now we need to show it in the on submit. So the data, so whatever the data you are trying to get it, so we can show it. So here I want to show something like, let's say that we have a payload which is of type empty. I want to show the payload, and here you can have it something like this dot payload is equal to JSON dot stringify of this dot form dot get raw value. So I'm taking total raw value for this one. So that's it. So we got the payload, and I want to show the payload in the HTML. So just we can show it in such a way that in our dynamic form dot component HTML at the bottom I will show div ngIf. So you can use @if also. So just I'm using ngIf. If payload is there, so then I can have class is equal to form hyphen row, and here I can show the strong, okay, payload, saved payload or something like that, or otherwise payload you can have it, and here you can show the payload. That's it. So I want to show the payload. That's it. Now if you try to see the output, so whatever the things you are writing it here, and if I click on submit, so here we are able to see the payload, whatever the payload we have implemented. So if you want to show the errors and all those things, so we need to show the errors also, right? So that is also one of the important thing, if it is valid, something like that. So now let's try to get the what I want to say is let's try to get the valid thing. So that will be present in the here in this one dynamic form question.component.ts file. That's it. So now here let's say that I will be having get is valid. I will be having one method, not method, getter function, return getter property. So return this dot form dot controls of this dot question dot key dot valid, if it is valid, dot valid. That's it. So now if it is not valid means then I will try to show the message. So here in our component, here at the bottom I can write in such a way that div if it is not valid, so that means ngIf, sometimes my data will not coming, so star ngIf is equal to not of is valid, then I can show the message class alert hyphen danger, and here we can show that question dot label is required. That's it. So now this is our message which we are trying to show it. So now let's try to see the output for this one. So now I don't know which one is required. So here you will be able to see first name is required, so that's why we have written it, and this one is not required, so fine, and this one is like this. That's it. So like this we will be implementing. If I click on the submit, so we are able to see the complete data. So this is how we can create the dynamic form in the reactive forms. So this is all completely is a reactive form, dynamic form. So what we have did it, let's try to recap once again. So we are having a question base here. Let's say that we are having question base. So that is nothing but the form element. So the form element will have a value, will have a key, label, required, order, in which order it needs to come, control type, and the type means the input type is equal to text, input type is equal to checkbox, and the options, and these are the things I am trying to store it in the in a class. So now here we are having a question.service.ts file. So here I am creating the type of all the controls which are available. So that is nothing but new drop down and new text box. So three things I am creating an object. So now we are having this new drop down, new text box, and all those things. I am creating a separate components, not components especially. So just think of it as a classes. Okay. So next one, what I was trying to do it is, so here we are having a service. Okay. So now this one will create a form group. So here it has created entire the form group, and let's go to the dynamic form component.ts file. So from app.component.html, I am trying to send the questions, and in the dynamic form.component.ts, I am taking the input. So I am injecting the question control as a service, and I am preparing the form group with the questions. So now here I am looping over one by one the question, and I am creating each form element. So the each question I am preparing, or otherwise you can say it as an app dynamic form control also you can say it. I am sending the question and also I am sending the form. So now in our app dynamic form question, this is another component. So we are taking it as an input, and here we are writing the conditions. So if it is a text box means then I am showing the text box. If it is a drop down means then I will show a drop down. If it is a checkbox, if it is a radio, like that we will go on write like this one by one. So here I am writing, and the validation errors and all those things whatever it is available, here only I am implementing the validation errors also. So this is how the total thing has been written, and if you try to see the output, so this is the output which we are able to see. So now we have created a dynamic form. So this is all about the concept. So for example, let's say that if you try to add another one in our function questions or service.ts, if you create another text box like this, so another text box will come. So here you can keep it as an 4, and this one is in last name, and this is also a last name. I can change it to last name, and you can have it something like this. So now if you try to see, automatically the form has an last name, so you will be able to get a last name. So here I have written the last name. So like this we can create a dynamic form in the reactive dynamic form. We can create it using the reactive, or otherwise template driven forms also we can do it, but by using the reactive forms it will be very easy. So right now we have implemented very clear, right? So this is all about the forms concept in the Angular. So we have completed the major concept, that is forms. So from the next video onwards we will try to learn about the HTTP client. So we have learned so many concepts like template driven forms, reactive forms. We have learned different types of validators and how to implement these all validators, and now the dynamic form also we have learned it. So that's it guys about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video, and if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.